Hello friends, this video on solutions part 18 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Fractional distillation is one of the important application of Raoult's law. In Raoult's law we have seen that we can easily find the concentration of components in the vapor phase. So sometimes we have solution with impurity and which is non-volatile impurity. So when you heat this, here you'll get more substance, more pure substance. Why? Because in the vapor phase, the partial pressure due to the volatile compound will be more because they are volatile, right? And thus the mole fraction in the vapor phase for the volatile compound will be more. Correct? See, if this has, let's suppose, more impurity, the vapor phase will have more compound which are more volatile, and thus you can then purify. So this Raoult's law has a huge application in fractional distillation process. Let's talk about the vapor pressure of solid in liquid solution. So I have solids in liquid. So good example of these solution, you take sodium chloride, that is common salt, you take glucose or you add urea, you put those in water, or you take iodine, you take sulfur, you dissolve them in carbon disulfide. These are the examples of solutions where you dissolve solid and liquid. My solid is my solute and liquid is my solid. So the reason why we are studying this is it is observed that physical properties of these solutions are different. Different from what? Different from pure solid. If you take pure water, you find the physical property. You take water mixed with sodium chloride or glucose, it will have different physical property. And this physical property I'm talking about is, for example, vapor pressure. Vapor pressure is different. Vapor pressure of a solution which has solid solvent is different from vapor pressure of a pure solvent. Vapor pressure of sodium chloride water solution is different from vapor pressure of pure water. Right? What is vapor pressure? So vapor pressure is the pressure exerted by vapors of liquids over the liquid phase under the equilibrium condition. So I'll show you. This is my equilibrium condition here, right? All these particles are moving around. So the vapors here on this vapor phase, they exert a pressure over this liquid phase. This is my liquid phase. They exert a pressure over this liquid phase under the equilibrium condition. This is called vapor pressure. Correct? So if you see in the pure liquid form, assuming these are all equilibrium condition, I didn't show the animation, but just understand that they are in equilibrium condition, they are moving around. In the pure liquid solution, if you see, the entire surface is occupied by the molecules of the liquid. Correct? If a non-volatile solute is added to this solution, or to this solvent, you get a solution. This becomes a solution now. Right? So in this we have non-volatile solute. Then what happened? The vapor pressure of the solution will have only solvent, but it will be less. If you see, here we have 6 molecules, here we have 3. We will discuss why the vapor pressure has decreased. Now if you add a volatile solute, assume this solid, the big red ones are volatile, then you will see some of the volatile solutes also on the vapor phase. Correct? And these all happens at a given temperature. I'm assuming that my temperature is fixed and I'm observing all this. Correct? So surface, if you see, of these all three, so if you talk about the pure solvent, it has only pure component. If you talk about the solution, the surface will have both red and blue component, right? The surface of these has both solute and solvent molecules. Thus what happens is the fraction of surface area covered by solvent is reduced. So if you see here, since the red one is non-volatile, it won't go up. But if you see here, the more space, I mean, it was easy for the blue particles to come out, but in this case, if you see, the surface is occupied by the red particles also. There is survival of the fittest scenario here. The blue particle will not be able to come out because the red particle is hogging the space. Here also, if you see, the red particle is hogging the space, the blue particles won't be able to come out. Thus, since the blue particle will not be able to come out properly, only few of the blue particles will come to the vapor phase, and thus the vapor pressure will decrease, because the vapor pressure is nothing but the pressure exerted by the molecules here, right, the liquid in this vapor phase. But if the vapors here is less, the vapor pressure will be less. So if you see here, the 6 molecules may be exerting 6 pressure, here only 3 pressure, right, here it is 4. So the vapor pressure will definitely get reduced in a given solution as compared to solvent. So in solvent, if the pressure is, let's suppose 10 Pascal, it will become here 6 Pascal. Here it will become maybe 5 Pascal. We don't know, or 7 Pascal. But both the cases, both this pressure will be lesser than the pure solvent. Right? Also note that the decrease in the vapor pressure, which we will study in detail, the decrease in vapor pressure, it will depend on the quantity of non-volatile solute. It is irrespective of its nature. That means whether you add sodium chloride or potassium chloride, potassium iodide or benzene, doesn't matter. It depends only on the quantity. It depends on the quantity of non-volatile solute. Right? The decrease in vapor pressure depends only on the quantity of non-volatile solid, irrespective of its nature. Right? Doesn't depend on nature. It doesn't depend on nature of solid. Right? Thus, if you see, the decrease in vapor pressure by adding 1 mole of sugar to 1 kg of water is almost same that is produced by adding 1 mole of urea to 1 liter of water. So if you take 2 examples, you take both 2 glass, both has, let's suppose, 1 liter water, right? Glass 1 and glass 2. In glass 1, you add, let's suppose, 1 mole of sodium chloride. In this case, you add 1 mole of urea, both 1 mole. Why? Because 1 mole is what? 1 mole is nothing but 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. And here I'm talking about the quantity of molecules, correct? In the moles. So you add 1 mole of urea, you add 1 mole of NaCl, you add 1 mole of potassium chloride. The decrease in vapor pressure will almost be same at a given temperature. Right? Please note, we are adding 1 mole. We are not saying I'm adding 1 gram of NaCl and 1 gram of urea, because the moment you talk about the gram, you're not talking about the number of molecules, because here we are concerned about the number of molecules. And the number of molecules, the best way to represent is the number of mole, because 1 mole is nothing but 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. Correct? Thank you. Visit examfear.com to watch more videos, attempt free online tests, get free study materials, find tutors and mentors, and much more. Thanks once again.